Shrek is a monster. Is Shrek a mean monster? Or is Shrek a nice monster?
Shrek's
a little bit of a nice monster. Could there be a bad Shrek?
What's up, guys? Welcome to Hot Take, the show where we have smart people argue about really absurd things. Every week, we give our defendant a fresh hot take that they have to defend against our prosecution.
Spread the love. I don't need to pay for that. I am that.
Also, first thing that was said.
Hairstylists provide value.
Both teams compete for amazing prizes, and there are a few curveballs along the way. The defendant has a whole week to prepare their argument while our prosecution comes in completely blind. Can our defendant maintain their questionable hot take, or will our prosecution poke holes in their defense?
It's accepting reality.
I thought that was the question.
Okay, let's find out on Hot Take. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Hot Take. This is the show where people who are relatively intelligent debate about topics that are slightly less so. I'm your host, Michael Burns, and here's how it works. We have a prosecution. They have no idea what the topic is going to be today, so they're coming in blind, using their natural wits to win. We have a defendant, and no one knows what they're gonna try to defend today. But we're not doing it for nothing, because there's gonna be a winner decided by me. To my left is Ashton Herrild. Ashton, how are you?
You know, I could be better. I could be a lot worse.
Okay, good energy. We also have Brittnay Johnston. Brittnay, how are you?
I'm good.
That's good. I like that. Affirmative.
And
then finally this morning, we have James Larson. James, how are you?
Good.
Good. You seem happy.
Sure.
But it's not just a prosecution. Most importantly, we have a defendant today, the one who will be making an argument and trying to win. For that, we have Mr. Dan Hodapp. Dan, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm here to argue. I'm feeling good.
Wow, he says that even when it's not the show. You just show up someplace. I'm here to argue. But we're not just arguing for pride. We are arguing for a prize, Santa Claus. This is Christmas Hymns and Carols by Robert Shaw. It's volume 2.
Oh,
they're very pretty little records. Look at that.
That's a good prize.
Dan, it's time for you to reveal. What are you gonna be defending?
That skeletons are the scariest monsters.
Ooh. Dan has now revealed what he's defending. Prosecution, it's your turn to start asking questions. We have a couple surprises along the way as well, but we'll get there when we get there. So who wants to get the ball rolling on the prosecution by asking Dan the first question?
I just want to know, what other monsters are we talking here? I feel like monsters is a very big term. I would love
I'd like to do something a little unconventional and use my presentation.
Oh God, the power up happened right off the bat. This has never happened before. Get the question off the board. This is Dan's opportunity right now to give a full presentation making his point.
Skeletons are the scariest monster. I hope everyone is okay. If anyone needs to take a break at any point during this presentation, just let me know. So we will get to what monsters are in just a moment, but let's first talk about what is a skeleton. A skeleton is the structural frame that supports an animal's body. It's made up of 206 bones, and it is mostly calcium. We all do have a skeleton. Now to answer your question, what is a monster? What is a monster? A monster is a strange or horrible imaginary creature. I could only come up with certain examples. If I listed all of them, we'd be here all night. Examples that we were comparing against include mummies, Bigfoots, zombies, Loch Ness Monster, aliens, werewolves, vampires, Godzilla, King Kong, ghosts, witches, demons, goblins, and more. Yes. Monster is a strange or horrible imaginary creature. However, a skeleton is real. And that sets them apart from other monsters that we had listed earlier. What also makes them scary is that a skeleton is meant to be hidden, and it is not, and that is scary to us as humans at a very basic level. What is holding it together? I mean, when you think about it, is it dark forces that hold it together? They don't just stick together on their own independently of all the connected parts of a body. Where they reside. I don't know about you all, but when I drove in here, I passed a graveyard. They are everywhere. All right? Skeletons are everywhere. Skeletons have an endless supply. If they kill another being, they have created another skeleton. Skeletons are the enemy within. They are within the human body at all times. They know the specific horrors most specifically scary to all of us, and they have nothing left to lose. Literally, there's nothing left on them.
As always, everyone knows I'm an impartial judge, here to hear both sides out fairly. That was really good, and I'm spooked out.
How is something without a face, indistinguishable from one another, scarier than a zombie of my own mother who I can identify, who I love, and now I have to kill?
I would say that the anonymity of a skeleton is far scarier than the familiarity of a zombie that we may know. And the reason for that is, in any zombie movie that you ever see, when someone gets bitten by a zombie or when someone gets turned into a zombie, and it's a familial relationship, there's always a like, are you in there? Do you hear me? And there's like a little glimmer where it seems like it's going to happen, and then it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Pretty scary.
So what I am saying is the anonymity of a skeleton does not even give you that opportunity to be like, don't you see me as a person? It just attacks.
Well, I'd know to defend myself right away instead of being like, Mom.
Okay, so next question, prosecution.
Your slide said that skeletons are forever, right? Howard Zinn once said, well...
Is this real? We're going to fact check this.
Check it. He once said while reading Jack and the Beanstalk aloud, fee, fi, fo, fum, ellipses, I will grind your bones to make my bread. If a giant can eat a skeleton, does that not make him scarier?
On the screen right now, it's going to say, Howard Zinn, rest in peace, never said that.
Within any of the monsters that have been referred to in any of the presentations so far, those all have a skeleton within them. So even though they could consume a skeleton, they both also have a skeleton that could be revealed and also be scary.
Well, about halfway through, we've had time to ask some questions. We've had a power up. Who knows? Here's what I know. I know everyone's doing a really good job. Once again, everyone is doing a good job. No one is doing a bad job. On most episodes of the show, people are doing a bad job. Today, it's not happening. So I want to ask the prosecution, how are you feeling thus far about the discussion? How are you feeling about skeletons?
I'm kind of coming around to Dan's side. So honestly, I feel kind of bad because my job is to like poke holes in the argument.
Yeah.
But I'm sad because I'm like, maybe skeletons are the scariest.
It just all comes down to the definition of monster. Right. If monster's defined as an imaginary creature, but skeletons are the best monster because they're real, it's not included in that category.
I don't even think that they are monsters, and I totally agree with you.
How are you feeling right now? You're on the hot seat, you're on an island. How's
I'm just chomping at the bit because I want to respond to that. I'm just like ready to go.
Well, how about I ask you?
Okay.
I'm just saying I feel good. I feel good. That's what I meant. I feel good. I feel like on the
Great.
attack.
I'm not going to make anyone do anything. You have, I think, 2 questions left.
Another issue I may have had was you said it was scary driving by a cemetery, personally scary to you, yet there are shrines to these skeletons throughout the world. People go and visit them. They bring their children. If it was so scary, why do people enjoy going there and visiting skeletons?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I may have said I was scared, but I don't mean that everybody is scared who drives by a cemetery. I didn't even say that all skeletons are monsters. I'm just saying when skeletons are monsters, they are the scariest monsters. Shrek is a monster. Is Shrek a mean monster? Or is Shrek a nice monster?
Shrek's
a little bit of a nice monster. Could there be a bad Shrek? Not that Shrek, but a different, ogre that's bad? Yes. And in some cultures, skeletons represent life and the continuity of life and things such as that. But I am saying when a skeleton is being scary and a monster, it is the scariest monster.
Okay, well, we'll use this as the power up.
Great.
Because
We're
Why
just
not?
gonna send it.
because
not?
we're going to,
Why not?
why not?
We're getting our ass kicked.
Because we can.
Yeah.
What is with you guys?
It just
He's making
feels
a good
bad.
argument.
All right,
I
I've
feel
got an
sad.
answer for
You're
that.
handing
You want me
him
to
the
answer
win.
that?
I'm not handing him the win.
You're quitting. Personally, I think the scariest things are things that can destroy entire cities or humanity as a whole. Something like Cthulhu, something like the Megalodon. How is a Megalodon something that it only has cartilage, no skeletal structure? How is that scarier than one-on-one? How is something that could end an entire, submarine with Jason Statham on it?
Okay, and I want to be clear here before Dan, because this is a tough task. 2 minutes. You were asking how can a skeleton be scarier than a cartilage-based
Massive cartilage-based animal that could kill Jason Statham.
So we're talking about the size of monsters and how it applies to their scariness level, I think. And what I would say is that when we think of a meteor hitting the Earth, we don't think about really that very often as a scary thought, even though it could, because it would decimate us immediately. And that is sort of the reason why I am not as concerned with size being a factor in the scariness of a particular monster. Reason being, it would eliminate us faster and without our knowledge, possibly. I guess you could be worried about someone else somewhere else, and it's scary that that monster is going to kill that person. But I think psychologically, a skeleton is more of a one-on-one, mano-a-mano sort of scary that makes it scarier and more insidious and more personal than something that happens far away. Because, I don't know, I don't want to think, I mean, it's horrible to think of these morbid thoughts, but if there was an earthquake here, the family elsewhere, I know, and I would also just like to say, think about how many skeletons would be unearthed. I just wanted to mention.
You have 34 seconds.
So I don't think that size is a factor in the scariness of a monster, and I would even say, if that monster were to die, right? If we were to kill that monster and it had a skeleton, now we have a huge skeleton on our hands.
But I said a shark.
A shark is made of cartilage, or has cartilage as an interior structure system. I guess therefore it's
You made it. No matter what. Okay, we've come to the end of our journey. I mean, again, like, everyone who's here is doing really well. Everyone's doing a really good job. Everyone behind the cameras is doing a really good job. And it's hard. Like, I don't like this. Like, part of my job right now, Brittnay said earlier that she didn't want to come at Dan real hard, but she recognized it was her job. And as someone who is signed paperwork, is committed to a duty, she wasn't going to bail. And I too am doing a job. And my job right now is to make a judgment. It's not to say everyone did a great job, hoorah, let's have a hug and go eat donuts. It's to say that some person came out victorious. So I have two options now. I can go with the prosecution, who in good faith even admitted points that they thought Dan was doing a good job, which is honest. That's I really respect that. Or I have Dan, who came in real hot with a good argument that was both intellectually satisfying but personally horrifying. And come on, this is the 7th time we've done this show. We have never had an instance where the prosecution has said, he's making a good argument. I'm kind of convinced by this. And I'm gonna say, Dan's winning, and here's what pushed me over the edge. The call is coming from inside the house thing, Drew Barrymore on that got me hard. Hey, here you go.
Wow.
Great job.
Thank you so much.
It's only the second time at this point someone has won Hot Take. This is a hard arena to win in. Some scholars, like Howard Zinn, are saying that this is the Roman Colosseum of our age. But also, the earthquake skeleton thing was a lie. And we're all going to be pretty haunted
I just
by
wanted
that.
to say, putting this presentation together was actually pretty scary.
Yeah, and for that, you deserve Christmas 45s. So thank you so much to Dan Hodapp for coming in and convincing us the skeleton's the scariest thing ever.
Hodapp, Hodapp, Hodapp.
Also, thank you to Ashton Herrild. Also, thank you to Brittnay Johnston. Also, thank you to James Larson. And you know what? Positivity, thank you to me, Michael Burns. We'll be back with another Hot Take soon. See you guys there.